Apparently I'm not as tall as Doc. Is everybody having a good time today? Oh, come on now. Louder. All right. Thank you, Doc, for everything you said. I do want to say one thing. All of us people, we're here not working for monetary pay, but the potential payback here is huge. We're fighting for our rights. We're fighting for our children and our grandchildren and the country that we live in and love and believe in. So, on that note, like Doc said, I'm the Virginia coordinator for Second Amendment Sisters. I've been in this job for a whole month. Second Amendment Sisters, thank you, is the organization that answered the Million Mom March. If you remember some years ago, there were a bunch of moms that marched on D.C. and said, we want gun control. Okay, so there were a bunch of moms that got together and said, we like our guns. So we're going to march too, and they did. Now, they didn't get the press coverage that the Million Mile March got, but they were there. And some of the people out here were there. They've already told me that. Now, why is the Second Amendment so important? Well, when our founding fathers wrote the Bill of Rights, they put the Second Amendment where they did, right behind the right of freedom to speech and religion, to protect all of our other rights, to protect our Constitution, to protect our countries, and to protect our families. This is not only a right, but it's a responsibility. We all have a personal responsibility to protect ourselves, to protect our communities, and to protect our families, and to protect our country. Now, what do I mean by this? I'm not talking vigilantism. Vigilantism is when a self-appointed group of people, let me read from the dictionary, when a member of a self-appointed group of people who undertake law enforcement in their community without legal authority, that's vigilantism. Self-defense, on the other hand, is the act of defending oneself, one's family, and one's community and one's country. Now, Sonia Sotomayor, as you all know, Senator Coburn was questioning Judge Sotomayor on her feelings on the Second Amendment and her opinion on the Second Amendment. And she stated, now this is a federal judge, she stated that she could recall no cases that ever came before the Supreme Court of the United States in which self-defense was addressed. Even though there's been 14, 15 cases that the Supreme Court has heard, she could not recall a single one. And then when Senator Coburn pressed her for her own personal opinion on whether or not Second Amendment or the right to self-defense was an individual right, she gave an example of vigilantism, not an example of self-defense. Now, to me, that says that she doesn't believe in the individual's right for self-defense. So yesterday, a group of us concerned citizens went up to the Hill, and we talked to our senators, well, we talked to their aides face-to-face, and told them how we felt about it. This is something that everybody can do. Anybody can do this. You may not be able to make the trip to D.C., but you can pick up a phone, or you can visit their office here in Richmond, or you can write them a letter or an email. This goes back to responsibility. Our rights come with responsibilities, and it is up to us as individuals to live up to that responsibility and protect those rights. What can I do? I'm just one person. I hear that all the time. Well, there's a lot of things that you can do, and coming here today is a great start. Give yourselves a hand for just showing up today. And this here is the beginning of a groundswell movement. But what we need to do is turn this groundswell into a tidal wave. Here are some simple things that you can do. Write your representatives. We just talked about that a minute ago. When you write your representatives, send a copy of the letter to your local newspapers. There's a good chance, if you tell them that you sent that letter to your representative, that newspaper is going to print that letter. Another thing you can do is form a discussion group. Get together with your friends and neighbors and talk about politics. Everybody says, oh my God, you can't talk about politics. Well, yes, you can, and we need to. Lobby your elected officials. Call them up. Write them letters. Go to their offices. Go to tea parties, fundraisers, donate to your favorite politician. Sign petitions. There's plenty of petitions here to sign today. Read the petitions, and if you agree with them, sign them. Go to your school board meetings. Go to your county supervisors meetings. Go to the planning commission meetings. Be aware of what's going on in your local community. Now, I realize, again, we don't have time to do all this stuff, but that goes back to your discussion group. If you get a group of people together and you say, well, I'm free the night of the the county supervisors meeting, or I'm free the night of the school board meeting, or I'm free the night of the PTA meeting, and you take turns going to these and come back and report to your group. And then you can discuss what happened and decide how you feel about it and what kind of letters you want to write. This will be effective. Now, what happens if we don't do anything? Well, I think we've heard a lot about that. But here today with me is Leila Myers. Come on up here, Leila. And she's going to tell you what it's like to live in a country where you don't have these freedoms. And I'm going to turn it over to Leila now.
Hi, folks. Can you all hear me here? Can you hear me all right? I'm not a big public speaker. This is the biggest crowd I've spoken to